Hello and welcome to 10-minute fiction vacays. Do you need a little break or a little pick-me-up? Stay tuned. My name is Marie LeClaire, and I'll be reading chapter 5 from my novel, The Last Yard Sale. You can get it free from Amazon and other booksellers. So here's chapter 5. As she picked up the doll, Regina was immediately transported back in time to when she had held her own doll. It was the night their parents told them about the divorce. She saw her younger self sitting on the couch, holding the doll tight to her belly. Her dad had given it to her a few weeks earlier for her 6th birthday. She adored her dad and always tried hard to win his approval. But she knew Marybeth was his favorite. Marybeth always got the new stuff, and she always got the hand-me-downs. It was only on special occasions, like birthdays, that she got something entirely her own. She knew her dad had picked up this doll for her at her favorite toy store, the Antique Dollhouse. Regina listened to her parents talk about the changes ahead. She felt as if all the blood were draining out of her body, and soon she would disappear entirely. It wasn't long before she couldn't hear them at all, like watching a movie without the sound. She was sure she had done something different. Her dad would have loved her more, and her parents would have stayed together. Guilt and panic crept in slowly. When the girls were sent off to bed, Regina ran to her room and closed the door before anyone could see her distress. She grabbed the doll, and in a fit of 6-year-old rage, she threw it into the back of her closet. She flung herself onto the closet floor and began weeping the full body sobs of the inconsolable. She remained this way, swallowed up by betrayal, fear, and guilt for what seemed like hours. Then, suddenly, a warm light began to illuminate the closet, gradually growing brighter. It centered around a beautiful woman draped in sparkling green silk, more beautiful than anything she'd ever seen. The woman spoke to her in the kindest voice Regina had ever heard. She felt as if an angel had reached into her body and gently washed away her pain. "We're always with you," the woman said, "watching over you and protecting you. You are a perfect child of God, and you have done nothing wrong. You must help your sister during this time with your gift of laughter. This is your job in this life, little one, to help your sister and others to laugh. As long as you are both laughing together, life will be good." Regina stumbled as she came out of her vision. She reached out to steady herself with the mantle, then suddenly burst into tears, clutching the baby doll to her belly. She turned to Marybeth and said through her tears, "Oh my God, I remember." Marybeth rushed to her side and led her to the chair. Regina took a few deep breaths to regain her composure, then turned to her sister. "What the hell just happened?" "I'm not sure, but I can guess." She wrung her hands, hesitant to go on. "Did you just see something weird?" she asked cautiously. "Yes, I did. Are you going to tell me about it?" Regina nearly demanded an explanation. "Yeah, well," Marybeth eased into it. "I got the doll at a yard sale yesterday. A very strange yard sale. I started having these, well, sort of visions. Is that like what happened to you just now?" "Why didn't you tell me? Warn me. This is more shit you're not telling me." Regina felt the anger rising. "No, no, no, it's not like that." "Then what is it like?" "I'll tell you everything, I swear. First, are you okay? Tell me what happened." If Regina had had a vision too, then maybe she wasn't going crazy. And if she was, Then at least Regina was going right along with her. Taking another deep breath, Regina began. Do you remember the night Mom and Dad told us about the divorce? Like it was yesterday. Well, I've never told anybody about this before, but Regina slowly and quietly told her sister about the vision she had had and about the vision she had experienced when she was 6, on the day the divorce news was delivered. I don't remember that doll at all. I didn't play with it after that night. It stayed in the back of my closet at Mom's. As far as I know, it's still there. I totally forgot about it till just now. Whatever happened to Mom and Dad? I thought they were perfect for each other. Yeah, me too. Their parents were both professors at Jefferson County Community College in Westfield. Her mother taught English and her father taught math. As a child, she thought it was the perfect match. Now, she realized that they were two people who saw the world completely differently. Mom saw the world in colors, and Dad saw the world in numbers. Mom saw into the essence of things. Dad needed proof of everything. The old adage, opposites attract, might be true, but Marybeth wondered if opposites ever really went the distance. As they started to share their different experiences of that day, they realized, to their surprise, that they had never really talked about it. At ages 8 and 6, what was there to say exactly? Then life just went from one moment to the next, changing and changing again, without much conversation or awareness. Now, as adults, they had entirely different context for it. Regina realized that the feelings she had about Marybeth's divorce were the same feelings she experienced back then, of being emotionally shut out, or that somehow it was her fault, or maybe she could have helped fix things. When you told me about your divorce, I felt the same kick in the gut I had felt back then. It felt like I couldn't get mad at Mom and Dad, so maybe I took the opportunity to get mad at you instead. Funny how things from so long ago can sneak into the present. Yeah, I realized recently one of the reasons I stayed with Eric for so long is to show Mom and Dad that you can work things out if you just try hard enough. You can see how well that worked. I have a whole new appreciation for what they went through. At least their divorce was peaceful, as much as I remember anyway. I don't remember them fighting a lot either, before or after the divorce. I think in some ways that made it harder to understand, especially at 6. I'm still not sure why they got divorced. I guess I'm not really clear on that either. I know Dad was distant and grumpy back then. Remember how crazy he was about locking the doors all the time? Oh, yeah, I remember, Regina said suddenly, as she added a forgotten piece to her memory. It didn't seem like a big deal then, but now it seems really strange. I remember waiting for Mom to get home so I could have someone to talk to. Yeah, Dad wasn't much of a talker, that's for sure. They both laughed for a moment, lightening the mood a bit. Now that they were talking about it, it became clear that neither one of them had a clue about what went wrong back then. They talked about their parents' divorce for a while, comparing what few things they remembered as young children, sometimes laughing, sometimes feeling sad. I wonder whatever happened to that doll. Regina was still holding the mantle doll. And what's with the strange yard sale anyway? She listened to her sister tell the story of the crazy old woman and the yard sale. If the vision hadn't just happened to her, she would have serious questions about her sister's sanity. As it was, the whole thing seemed barely believable. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm wondering if it really happened that way, or if I just made it up somehow. Marybeth was shaking her head. Well, let me tell you, Regina jumped in. What just happened to me was absolutely real, for sure, just like all those years ago. I'm really glad you had that vision too. I mean, that if I'm crazy, at least you're crazy with me. And I can't think of anyone I'd rather go to the loony bin with. They both laughed for a moment, appreciating the humor. It's funny that the woman in the vision years ago said, "This is your job in life, little one, to help your sister and others laugh." I remember it clearly now. You know, recently I have started to recognize how much I enjoy helping people to see the humor in things. It doesn't take much for me to get on a roll about something. Tony thinks I should try my hand at stand-up comedy. Really? Well, Regina said apologetically, it's not like we talk a lot these days. Yeah, I know. They sat in the living room well into the afternoon and long past the bottom of the coffee pot. They eventually got to the sandwiches, but not before some serious damage was done to the cookies. Marybeth talked more about the bizarre yard sale and the old woman who was giving things away. Recent events were seriously challenging her no-nonsense approach to life. She was much like her dad in that way, they agreed, concrete, tangible. Suddenly, since just yesterday, things were more like the way her mother saw the world. Oddly, the mysterious yard sale had brought them crashing back together in a common yet uncommon experience. Regina asked if she could have the doll. Marybeth remembered the words of the old woman. Yes, I'm done with it, she said, and somehow she knew it was true. We've come to the end of the chapter. I'm happy you stayed with me. I hope you're feeling better than when we started. Sometimes all it takes is a little vacay in the middle of the day. If you're wanting a little more of the story, check out the playlist for The Last Yard Sale by chapter. There are a lot of other stories here on my channel as well. Or you can check out my website, marie-leclaire.com. You can find my novels directly on Amazon too. The links are in the description below. Please like and comment before you go. See you at the next vacay. I wonder where that will be.